Hi everyone, Bear from Bear Reads Books. Welcome back to my channel, and just a Friday update. And I haven't done a Friday reads or a Friday update for a long time. I've been really haphazard in my videos, but it's been lovely this week getting back to the routine of reading, which is kind of why I do it. It just gets me into a nice routine, and then I can put all those other things that go on in my life around that reading routine. And it's just the wonderful thing. That's what provides me the peace about in my reading, is just the comfort in it, that it's there all the time, that it's a regular thing. So really happy to be back doing this. There's been a few successes this week, so a few things finished, a few things started, and the things that I have to read, like the Booktube Prize stuff, progressing nicely, and then the stuff that I'm just reading for enjoyment also going really well. But let's start with what I finished this week, and a couple. So I finished one that I can't really tell you much about, is the Booktube Prize one. So I finished Alif Shafak's 10 minutes 38 seconds in this strange world, and that is finished. I can tell you a little bit about the plot. If you've never heard about this one, the title 10 minutes and 38 seconds refers to the supposed time that your brain remains active after your body dies. And specifically for this book, it's the telling of a person's memories who has been brutally murdered in Istanbul in Turkey, who's been brutally murdered, and for 10 minutes and 38 seconds she recounts all of the things that happen throughout her life, so all the friends that she's made, the horrible things that have happened to her and her family, and it recounts that in minute by minute. So for the first 10 chapters or so, it is minute 1, minute 2, minute 3, and then it breaks it down into the seconds, so 30 seconds, 38 seconds. And that layout is really the first half of the book. And then the second half of the book is the woman's friends that she has spoken about for the 10 minutes and 38 seconds. The second half of the book is really all of her friends out looking for her and what they do to find her, because the first half is all a reminiscence, really, a reminiscence of her life, that even considering the choices she's made and the life that she's decided that she's going to live, she's made some wonderful lifelong friends that love her dearly and that she loves dearly. And rather than just being left to die, her friends are out there looking for her. And the second half of the book tells the story of them locating her and then deciding how to best memorialise this friend that they love so much. I can't tell you whether I enjoyed it or not. That's just a very brief synopsis of the story, but I've finished it and put it aside, and I can give you a full review of that once it comes around to the end of the judging period, which will be the end of July. So I finished that one. Also finished City of Girls by Elizabeth Gilbert, and this was, I think I said last week, this is another one of those surprising ones that I picked up thinking, it's not going to be for me. But it really was. It's surprisingly good fun, about a young girl's education and awakening and growth as she lives in the city of New York in the pre-World War II, during World War II, post-World War II era, and working in the theatre and all of that, and all that entails. I thoroughly enjoyed City of Girls. And if I were to show you on my wall, my ranking wall, there's 3 books that sit together, and they're all this type of book that I didn't think I would enjoy, but ended up enjoying immensely. The Dutch House, this, and Tracy Chevalier's Single Thread. They sit right 1, 2, 3 together. I can't really separate them. I gave them all very high star ratings. I gave them all very positive comments. They're all not by any means perfect books, but they're perfectly entertaining and really charming and captivating in every way. And all 3 of them sit together in that ranking very, very nicely. Just completely surprising to me. Probably the one criticism I had, and it wasn't something that made me drop the rating at all. But the one criticism I had was the whole thing is an explanation to Angela, which is I really shouldn't give away who Angela is, but the whole thing is spoken to a third party called Angela, who the whole book is recounting her life for Angela, whoever Angela may be. And when you get to the end and you find out who Angela is and the significance of who Angela is, you think, it's not so significant. And I don't know why. I mean, even in the book, one of the right at the end, the narrator says, "I've gone on a long time telling you about my life, Angela." Well, yeah, you've written a goddamn book about it. So she's written 100,000 words plus about her life, but it's all in the style of this long letter to Angela. Oh, that's ridiculous. Who writes 100,000 words to someone else? That makes no sense whatsoever. But the whole book would have made perfect sense, even leaving the whole reference to Angela out. Like a couple of times a paragraph, there'd be a sentence, a couple of times a chapter, there'd be a sentence in there that says, referring directly to this person, Angela. You know what I mean, Angela, or life was like this, Angela. And all of those references could have easily have been removed from the book and left no response or no direct speech to Angela whatsoever. And the book would have been just as powerful, just as interesting, and the reveal about who Angela is at the end would have gone, oh yeah, rightio, now I understand. It wouldn't have lost anything or gained anything by having Angela there, so why have it? That's really my only criticism. But as I said, it happens once or twice a chapter where she refers to Angela, so it doesn't get in the way, which is why it doesn't affect the star rating. It doesn't get in the way. Don't let it stop you from reading the book. I didn't find it distracting. I just found it a strange thing that really didn't need to be there. But really, when thinking about Elizabeth Gilbert writing this book, it's the whole structure of the book. It's an ode to, or it's an explanation to this woman Angela about why the main character lived the life she did. Yeah, a bit unnecessary, but the story itself, super fun, super interesting, really, really good. So they're the two that I've finished this week. City of Girls was on audiobook. Replacing the audiobook is an Australian one called The White Girl by I always do this, The White Girl by Tony Birch, which is nominated for a Miles Franklin, which is our biggest Australian literary award. So nominated for a Miles Franklin, which will be announced at the end of June, early July, so very, very soon who the winner of the Miles Franklin is. And I am enjoying it. It is a little different, but it's enjoyable. I'm not sure whether it's worthy of a prize, but it's I'm thoroughly enjoying it. And that's on audiobook. That tells the story of 1960s, 1950s, outback Australia, country Australia. And this is before Indigenous people were given the vote and recognised as citizens of Australia. So they didn't have citizenship. And Aboriginals fell broadly under the protection of a public official called the Protectorate of Aborigines. And their representatives in country areas were the police. So the police would round up Aboriginal children and put them under state care, usually in homes or foster homes or religious orphanages and things like that, where they were treated absolutely abhorrently. It was a terrible, disgusting practice that our country participated in. And so it kind of describes that era, and it describes a woman who's looking after her grandchild because her daughter left her daughter with her many years ago, so she's raised this grandchild herself. And she gets wind of the fact that a new policeman in town is going to be particularly harsh on children like this child, and is going around rounding them up. So if you cross paths with this new policeman in town, then and he gets wind of a child, he's going to take it from you. And then, believing this, the main character sets off to the city to try and find her daughter that went missing all those years ago. And along the way makes friends, but also tries to evade the police and not to get into enough trouble where she's going to lose her child or her grandchild. It's very, very, it's very harrowing. Not harrowing. It's a very sad story, because it could easily have been true, and it probably was taken. The research for this book was probably taken directly from something that actually did happen, where the names have just been changed. And I'm sure it's happened many hundreds or thousands of times in that period of the 1950s and 1960s. So very, very sad story, and I'm very much enjoying it. And we'll see how it goes for consideration for the Miles Franklin. So that's currently in the works, replacing Elif Shafak for the Booktube Prize. Currently reading Jacqueline Woodson's Red at the Bone. I'm about halfway through. Probably the best I can do for you at the moment, because I'm still trying to wrap my head around exactly what the hell's going on. I'll read a little bit off the back, and it says, Brooklyn, 2001. It is the evening of 16-year-old Melody's coming-of-age ceremony in her grandparents' brownstone. Watched lovingly by her relatives and friends making her entrance to the music of Prince, she wears a special custom-made dress, the very same dress that was sewn for a different wearer, Melody's mother, for a celebration that ultimately never took place. Unfurling the history of Melody's family from the 1921 Tulsa massacre to post-9/11 New York, Red at the Bone explores sexual desire, identity, class, and the life-altering facts of parenthood, as it looks at the ways in which young people must so often make long-lasting decisions about their lives even before they have begun to figure out who they are and what they want to be. It could encapsulate the book better than I ever could, without me giving away how I feel about it. So it's had a lot of praise. Obviously, it's made it all the way through to the semi-finals for the Booktube Prize. Outside of the Booktube Prize, it's had a lot of praise as well. That's Jacqueline Woodson's Red at the Bone. What else have I got going on this week? Still going with The Rich Man's House by... Ooh, he's a noisy fellow. Currently still going with The Rich Man's House by Andrew McGann, and really enjoying that too. That was the strange one with the 25 kilometre high mountain growing out of the Southern Ocean south of Australia, north of Antarctica. And really enjoying that, and it's got a lot of mystery and creepiness to it, so there's going to be something bad happen, nasty happen here, and it does bill itself as a thriller, and I think I'm just now getting to the thriller bit, and it's been building this tension and the elements of a thriller, with the character tension and the overall tension of the place, and it's been building that gradually, and I think I'm now getting to the sexy bit, which is the thriller bit. Sorry. And that's it. That's my update. So we're back to doing Friday reads. I don't know whether I'll keep doing Friday reads, but that's my update for the week. It's a lovely winter's day here in my garden. I wasn't able to get out. I had to kind of stay under cover last time because it was raining and horrible. But now it's a lovely sunny winter's day. The birds are singing. It's lovely, absolutely gorgeous. I'm back in a t-shirt for all of my northern winter friends. T-shirts in winter are the norm where I'm from. It gets cold sometimes, but t-shirts it is. Enjoy your day, everyone, wherever you may be, and I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks, bye.